Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. I've got a picture here that I want to share with you guys, and what it is it's an aerial photograph of my grandparents' farm. And these aerial photographs, if I remember correctly, what my grandmother told me, they were taken before World War II, and they did an aerial survey of our county. And in that aerial survey, they took photographs of the different farms, and then they gave a picture of these farms when they did this aerial survey back to the farmers so they could have them as basically a keepsake. And I've got a couple pictures like this, and I got one that's actually marked on the back that says 37. So I don't know 100% if that was just a number that they had on the back there or if it actually happened in 1937. But I'm going to take a shot in the dark and say, because she did say it was before the war, that it could have been 1937. And this is a picture of my grandparents' farm. And this was a subsistence farm. They lived on what they grew and what they preserved and stuff on this farm. And I'll take you, I was young yet, and I can still remember being on this farm before it was sold. But that back there was the smokehouse. And then that was the farmhouse right there. That barn right there, that was actually the granary. And the granary is where they stored all their oats, all their wheat, all their corn, beans for the season. That's where they stored everything, was in that building right there. And it was, the grain areas had cement floors, and they had cement dividers that divided the different grains and stuff that they were in there. And then the big barn in the back there, that was for the milk cows and the milk cattle, because this farm, they did milk, and they did separate cream and stuff, and they canned that all up. And that was actually, they sold that back to the government for the war effort. They produced a lot of milk for the war effort, and that was back in the day before machinery. So that was all pretty much milked by hand. And there was actually a milk house, and where they separated the cream and stuff, that was up in here where the where these trees are. You can't really see it on this picture, but that was there. And then they had a tool shed there, and then that building there in the very back, that was actually the corn crib. And they stored a certain amount of corn still on the cob that they used to feed the animals. And then in later years, this area right here is they had that converted over to garden, and they had a certain amount of garden over here as well. But then in later years, I remember this area pretty much being the garden. You can see the fruit trees and the orchard there in the back. But this was a subsistence farm, and my grandmother attributed the family surviving the Depression and the World Wars back to that farm. And there was a particular thing that she attributed to that, and that was owning the land. They owned the farm. They didn't have to pay anybody on that farm. That farm belonged to them. And if my grandmother ever gave me any, I guess, financial advice, it was own your own land. And I took that to heart to a certain extent. You know, I'm happy that we own our house and we own our vehicles, and that we don't have to pay anybody on them. They might be old, they might be run down a little bit, but they're ours, and we only got to come up with the tax money to and the license on the vehicles to keep things running. And that's kind of gone away in this day and age. People are basically have been trained not to own anything. You constantly getting loans and constantly borrowing money from this and borrowing money from that. And the old timers, they didn't believe in that at all. They believed that you had a piece of land and you owned it, you had something there, and they did everything to keep that land. But anyway, it's a story I wanted to tell. Hope you guys got a little something out of it there. Shared that picture with you guys, showed you what what the old homestead looked like back in the day, and you know, how they lived on it, and kind of a little bit of their mindset and things that I was taught. And I did videos before on the Depression and World War II. I'll put links in the description for those videos too, for anybody that hasn't seen them, kind of telling those family stories. But anyway, I hope you guys got something out of this video here, and always something to think about, looking back at how those old folks lived and bringing that up here into our modern era. Anyway, it's Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got a little information, a little entertainment out of this video as always, and you guys take care.